A 600-pound weight loss? These My 600-Pound Life stars lost immense amounts of weight and kept it off. Season 3's Marla McCants began her weight loss journey weighing almost 800 pounds. The mom of 3 spoke candidly to Sister Circle Live about her traumatic upbringing, including being sexually abused by her father, and explained that was when she began overeating, and her habits got worse after she was kidnapped by her high school sweetheart.
I stayed indoors. I didn't want to endanger anyone. I didn't want to endanger my children.
She lost control of her weight, but as she wrote on her website, even though I weighed that much, I never thought of myself being that size. Her aha moment didn't come until she realized she couldn't walk without pain. She wrote, "I knew then something had to change. I had to do something because I had seen and heard of stories about people being trapped in bed and dying. When Marla's caretaker suggested she write into My 600-Pound Life, she did. Once accepted to the show, she gave it her all. In 2019, she told Sister Circle Live she had lost 560 pounds, or 70% of her starting weight in 2 years, and was down to 240 pounds. And while she acknowledged that food was an addiction she'd always struggled with, she was adamant she could overcome it.
You never want to go back there. It's lonely.
These days, in addition to staying healthy, Marla also works as a motivational speaker for a grief support group called Loss, or Lending Our Shared Stories. Bettie Jo Elmore's weight loss journey has been riddled with grief. When she first appeared on the show in Season 3 in 2015, she weighed 654 pounds despite being just 24 years old. She listed a history of sexual assault and a complicated relationship with her parents as catalysts for her weight gain. But she soon proved to be one of Dr. Now's most committed patients. Bettie Jo ended her episode at 498 pounds and kept going to lose over 200 pounds within the first 2 years. However, she was faced with a major health scare in 2016 when she learned she was pregnant and that she had a large bone mass growing on her spine. Bettie Jo faced a difficult decision: have surgery to remove the mass and risk losing her baby, or forego surgery and risk being paralyzed. She chose to have the surgery, and luckily the operation was a success. In August 2016, she welcomed a healthy, happy son named Preston Isaiah Lynn Elmore with longtime partner Joshua Elmore. In 2021, the couple celebrated 15 years together, and in May 2022, they had their second son, Oliver Lamont Elmore. At the time, Bettie Jo faced another health scare as Oliver was born at just 27 weeks. But in 2023, she shared he was healthy and thriving. She also told fans in April 2023 that she had lost another 10 pounds and was just 30 away from her skin removal surgery. Olivia Cruz had already undergone 2 failed weight loss surgeries when she starred in Season 2 of My 600-Pound Life. She weighed in at 578 pounds and was confined to her mother's basement. But this time around, she decided things would go differently. She was dedicated to getting healthy, and in the end, she shed nearly 400 pounds. That's when knee problems put her progress on hold, and she hovered around 200 pounds. Eventually, she underwent the necessary knee surgery, and as she shared during a 2016 episode of My 600-Pound Life, Where Are They Now?, she was back on track.
For the first time since I can remember, I can be active as much as I want without having to use my cane or rest my knee.
She went on to say that her knee problems caused her to stop training as a chef, but she plans to continue now that she can stand all day. During the follow-up episode, viewers got to see Olivia learning the ropes in a professional kitchen, prepping food and cooking. Olivia was also approved for skin removal surgery, and she vowed to keep going. Ashley Dunn Bratcher struggled with her weight for as long as she could remember. As she shared in her Season 4 debut, she had an unstable home life and grew up with a single mom who struggled with drug addiction. What's more, she told viewers she was sexually abused by her babysitter's husband at age 6 and turned to food for comfort. By the time she was in 6th grade, she weighed 250 pounds. When she graduated high school, she was 400 pounds. Ashley was just 26 when she first appeared on the show, and at 725 pounds, she couldn't take care of herself or her family. Because her husband, a truck driver, was gone most of the time, much of the household responsibility fell on her 5-year-old son, Patrick. Ashley's biggest motivation was to be a better mom, and by the end of her episode, she was down to 470 pounds. In a 2017 follow-up, she told TLC her greatest joy was being able to take care of Patrick like he deserved.
He can be a kid, and I can be a mom. And that's what I'm most thankful for.
In 2018, she was approved for skin removal surgery and reached 300 pounds. Since then, Ashley has continued to focus on her family and her health, and in a 2021 Facebook update, she celebrated her 12-year wedding anniversary with Jacob Bratcher. Jo Wexler was eating 10,000 calories a day and weighed in at 777 pounds when he was introduced to viewers on season 3.
I was ready to give up on life.
Jo blamed his bad eating habits on a difficult relationship with his dad and on being allowed to eat as much as he wanted as a kid. However, he was devoted to turning his life around, and the year after undergoing weight loss surgery, he was down to 287 pounds. He later called losing the weight to qualify for his surgery, quote, "one of the hardest things I ever did." But it paid off. In 2018, viewers tuned in to see him marry Sarah, a woman he met in a weight loss support group. Unfortunately, the pair ultimately split in 2019, with Jo announcing on Facebook that she had cheated on him. Jo admitted the divorce affected his diet, but not for long. Jo soon refocused on his goals, and in 2021, he shared on Facebook he was working in IT while going to school to get a doctorate. He also found love again. Annjeanette Whaley's food addiction went back to when she was just a young girl, and she shared that she began eating to push down the sadness she felt over losing her mom to addiction. By the time she appeared in season 7 of the show, she weighed 679 pounds at just 30 years old. But she was ready to make a change and fully embraced Dr. Now's plan, losing 274 pounds by the end of her episode. However, the transformation took a toll on her relationship with her then-girlfriend Erica. Annjeanette told viewers that Erica had become insecure as she lost more weight, and their priorities diverged so much, leading them to break up. Even so, she kept going, and she and Erica even reconciled. In May 2022, Annjeanette shared on Facebook they were getting married, and that she was loving being a mother figure to Erica's twin sons from a previous relationship. She also appears to be moving forward on her weight loss journey. She made headlines in 2020 when she sued My 600-Pound Life production company, Megalomedia, for $1 million. She accused producers of making up storylines for ratings, and alleged that following their extreme diet and strict filming schedule took a tremendous psychological toll. When Milla Clark started season 4, she weighed 751 pounds and had been confined to her home for 2 years. She relied on her 5 kids to take care of her, and once she started Dr. Now's program, they pushed her forward.
Just having them here to encourage me and help push me, there's no greater motivation than that.
Indeed, they were helping her exercise each day and stick to a healthier diet. Milla eventually had her weight loss surgery, and in 2019, she weighed in at 216 pounds. She kept going and lost enough to be approved for another surgery to remove a 38-pound lymphedema mass from her leg. Milla's record-breaking journey also involved several skin removal procedures, and by 2021, she was just 155 pounds. That's a total loss of 596 pounds, making her the biggest success story in the show's history. And while some may criticize Dr. Now, she'll forever be thankful to him. In 2019, she posted a photo with Dr. Now to Instagram and praised, "You gotta love this man. He is such a blessing to me and all morbid obese people." As of 2023, Milla's Instagram bio proudly proclaims that she has lost 600 pounds and notes, "My mission is to share my journey, inspire, and motivate you." When viewers first met Lupe Donovan in season 4, she was 39 years old and weighed 642 pounds. She had been confined to her bed for over a decade and was on the verge of heart failure. The health scare was a real wake-up call, and with help from her husband, Gilbert Donovan, she worked hard to drop 300 pounds. However, despite her success, she still continued to spend most of her time in bed due to hip pain. Eventually, she got down to just over 200 pounds and was approved for both skin removal and hip replacement surgeries. They made all the difference, and in 2019, she revealed on Facebook she was just 21 pounds away from her goal weight of 180. As for her personal life, that hasn't been as successful. In 2017, Lupe accused her husband of cheating, drinking, and abuse, and she left him after 10 years together. She later began dating Andrew Renteria, but after just 17 months together, he died unexpectedly in 2019. Janine Mueller started season 6 at 678 pounds. She lived alone and relied on a scooter to get around, even using it at home.
I spend just about every moment of every day either eating or getting food.
Janine explained she was adopted when she was around 2 months old and recalled, "The adoption agency told my parents that my birth mother was a large woman, therefore I should be closely monitored." Her weight became an obsession for her mother, who put her on a diet at age 3 and started her on diet pills at 4. Janine went on to fashion school and designed plus-size clothing before turning to plus-size modeling. At age 40, she weighed 444 pounds, and by 45, she was over 500 pounds. When she was 50, her dad died of cancer, which caused Janine to lose control of her weight. However, she was in constant pain and decided to make a drastic change. Janine lost 112 pounds in her episode, but it wasn't enough to qualify for surgery. She moved to Houston to be closer to Dr. Now, and in 2019, she was down to 312 pounds. She eventually had the surgery, and in 2023, she weighed 281 pounds. She also has finally been able to return to fashion, this time selling jewelry for paparazzi accessories, which she shared on Instagram. Susan Farmer's journey on My 600-Pound Life was made particularly difficult by 2 additional medical conditions, lymphedema and neuropathy. The latter, which she was diagnosed with after surgery, resulted in her losing feeling in her legs and needing to relearn to walk. But it was by no means the first hardship Susan faced. She debuted on season 3 weighing 607 pounds and was in constant pain. Walking and breathing were painful, and as the then 37-year-old told viewers, she avoided mirrors.
I don't like looking at myself.
She shared that she began overeating at 17 following a violent incident in which her father drunkenly pointed a rifle at her mother. She turned to food for comfort. By the end of her episode, she had shed 267 pounds, eventually getting down to 305 pounds. Ahead of her skin removal, she said, "It sounds kind of silly, but the first thing I am going to do is that I am going to get a pair of jeans." The procedure helped her lose another 46 pounds, and after hitting 210 pounds, she got her jeans. And while Susan's Facebook photo hasn't been updated since 2018, it seems she's sticking to her new lifestyle. In August 2020, she began working at RDI Extract, a health records and data company.